Entry-level mining resumes. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters. I've been asked to do a video for people that are new to the industry, that are entry-level, trying to put a resume together. So I am going to use some stuff that's on the sponsors page, and I'm also going to use some stuff that's out of their seminar. So if we jump over to their seminar to start with, you can see this is out of Australian Mining Seminar, and if we come down to here, the really important information, this up here is talking about how 10,000 people applied for a crew job and they only had about 130 people with existing experience, and you've got to ask yourself, where are you going to start with all that? The other thing that you've got to ask yourself when you're sending a resume in is it going to get read or is it going to get kept on file, which means it's going to get thrown in the bin or discarded. Roughly, you've got 6 seconds to show the person reading the resume that's on site, and that's either the foreman or the project manager, that you know something about mining or you've got something that's going to help you get into the mining industry. If you don't have something that's going to prick the foreman's interest in that time, then they're just going to move on to the next one. And what do I mean by pricking their interest? If you have a look, this is out of our mining resumes page, before and after. This is I've already done a couple of videos on this if you want to have a look at it as well, but this is a bit more direct about entry level. There's before and after, and if you have a look at the after one, it's just direct, and straight away the foreman can see, oh, you've done a course on mining, you've got all this information, you've got experience as a HR truck driver, and they can move through the resume within a couple of minutes. Now, if you have a look at the before on this one, and the person that supplied this resume to us had this professionally done, and this is what you have to have done if you want a coal mining job or if you're going into construction, but it doesn't work if you're trying to get a hard rock job. The reason being is it contradicts itself at every point. It says you've got an in-depth knowledge and experience in WH&S legislation, rules and regulations, yet you've got a resume full of tickets that the employers can't use. The hard rock employers in underground and in the open pits, none of them can use the R2 tickets. They all have to issue their own on-site machinery ticket. If you have a look at this resume, you can see that to get to any sort of crossover skills to the industry, you've sort of got to go down to the bottom of page 2 or down to page 3, and then to get on the employment history on page 3. But the thing that's really confusing, and why it'll get just thrown straight away, is because of this stuff up here. Have you used a CAT 777 in a workplace, or is this just those tickets that you went and did? And if you have a look at the resume, they didn't. It's they haven't worked on a mine site. They've worked with HR, but they haven't worked on a mine site. And so a resume like this, 9 times out of 10 will just get, or 99 times out of 100 will just get chucked by the person that's reading it, because your statements don't make any sense. You've said that you know about the legislation, but clearly you don't. And that just sends up red flags, and they'll move on to the next person. So it's really important when you're building a resume for yourself to just be straightforward, and if you've got something special that you think is going to get the employer in, it needs to go on the front page. Also, cover letters, it can be hit and miss. I encourage people to use objectives up the top, and that way if they ask for a cover letter, you can just copy and paste the objective into the cover letter space. The reason that I don't like cover letters is because when I've worked on mine sites previously, the cover letter normally doesn't make it up to site. And so if you've got important information in that cover letter that's not repeated in the resume, then that's going to go against you. So just count on the fact that your resume is going to get read and not the cover letter. So you need to have all that information in your primary resume. The other thing is it needs to be no longer than 3 pages. You can cull on the length of resume, because no respectable miner has got a resume more than 3 pages long. So when they get resumes that are 20 pages long, they just go straight in the bin, because they know that person's got no practical mining experience. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get through the system, you're trying to mimic as much as you can what a real miner's resume would look like. And anything that you've got that's going to get you the job, like the course or your HR license or working with large trucks in other industries, just be straight up about it. And the other thing is that if you're coming from a construction background on a mine site, or you've been doing shutdown work, don't start off by saying you've got 5 years mine site experience, because when a foreman on an underground mine reads that, they're expecting a bogger operator. Or if you say you've got 10 years mine site experience and you've been working construction for 10 years, the foreman's going to expect a jumbo operator. And when they don't get that, and they get somebody that's been working construction or shutdown work or something like that, it doesn't go over very well. And most people in that situation a bit about the whole situation, and the resume goes into the coal pile. So what my recommendation is just to talk about the job that you did, the bit of machinery that you used, what you used it for, and how long you used it. Don't worry about talking about tickets and all that sort of stuff, because like I said, the tickets have to be issued on site. So I hope that information helps, and the best thing you can do to get your mining knowledge up to speed is to do the DIY introduction course. It's only $450, teaches you all everything you need to know about how hard rock underground mine sites work, concentrates mainly on the underground side of things, but all the rules that you need to know for the surface are the same for underground. So there's a lot of important rules in there that they go through and you can learn from, and it gives you a good anchor point to start to show the employer that you know something about the mining industry. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you've got any more questions, please send them through. Thank you.